we have 6:15. Welcome all. We have a quorum. Ms. Murray reached out to me. She is traveling and she got waylaid in one of the flights. So good evening all to the March 22nd, 2022, 6:15 p.m. open session meeting of the Ayer Planning Board. I think I'm going to stop reading this soon, I have a feeling. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, in accordance with Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, OML, public bodies otherwise governed by the OML are temporarily relieved from the requirement that meetings be held in public places open and physically accessible to the public, so long as measures are taken to ensure public access to the body's deliberations through adequate alternative means. This meeting will be live on Zoom. The public may participate remotely by joining Zoom meeting ID number 833-6548-0732 or by calling 929-205-6099. For additional information about remote participation, please contact Heather Hampson, Administrative Coordinator at hhampson@ayer.ma.us or 978-772-8220 extension 144 prior to the meeting. Next on our agenda is to approve the agenda. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Jonathan. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ken and Nathan. Do we have any discussion on the agenda this evening? Hearing none, we're going to go by Hollywood Squares. Once again, Jonathan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
Ken?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. So we've got our agenda ready to go. First on our, we have no covenant or bond releases this evening. So first on our list is a review of the A&R for Groton School Road, one parcel. And if I kill the name, I'm sorry, is it Januskowicz? David E. Ross Associates. Januskowicz, I'm sorry. Januskowicz, thank you. And my grandmother comes from Brzeg, I tell you. Who is here, please, for this?
Kevin Conover from David Ross Associates.
Thank you very much.
Good evening. We are presenting a plan for a parcel of land situated off the easterly side of Park Street, adjacent to the mobile home park that I think most of you are familiar with. There was some existing encroachments of some sheds and some deck that this parcel of approximately 3,700 square feet is going to encompass. We're not creating any non-conformities with this. The lot will still conform to the frontage and area requirements. And we're seeking the board's approval on the endorsement of this plan.
Thank you. Do we have any discussion from the board or from Mr. Archambault?
Mark, you're muted. Mark, you're muted.
Sorry, I was going to fetch the plan, which I just did, in case anyone wants to see it. I can share my screen and share the A&R plan. Can you hear me now?
I've seen it. Has anybody else, would anybody else like to see it up on the screen?
I reviewed it and I've seen it.
Yes, I've reviewed it,
okay.
I believe. Thank you. I mean, it's a slice being moved over.
Correct.
Mhm.
Yep. I think it's 3,762 square feet being transferred from lot 2A.
Mhm.
Ian Januskowicz, trustee, over to the Kendra Dumont lot.
Okay, and we've ascertained that these are the people who actually have control of these two pieces of property?
That's correct.
Thank you very much. That's bitten us in the past, Kevin. That's why I have to ask.
Okay.
More than once. Okay. If there is no discussion, somebody want to make a motion, please?
We do have a citizen who wants to speak up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Pauline, what would you like to say, please?
Mr. Chair, I just would like to suggest you show the screenshot for anyone else who may be watching or watching it later. I've seen it, so I know exactly what you're speaking about, but anyone else in the public may not.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, if that's okay with everybody, I will Here it
I'll
is.
put it up on the
Whoops.
screen.
Oh, you just did. Okay. That's from my staff report.
Yep.
Actually, this
is
shows the, this is the incorrect area right here. I believe there was a mix-up, and so that the correct parcel A is now 3,762 square feet, not 4,780.
So this
But other
slice
than
is
that,
actually,
That doesn't even help showing the wrong plan, so that's not a good thing.
There we
Yeah,
go.
that,
Right, yeah,
I'll take the blame
can,
for that. That was the
Look-
first rendition of our parcel that we presented to our clients. That was not what the agreed parcel configuration was. The parcel is basically the same, but instead of going to the easterly side of the other land of Janiskevitz, they cut it off approximately 72 and a half feet distance from that property line.
Right,
So again, when I emailed that over to Heather, I picked the wrong plan. I contacted her yesterday to alert her of the error. Because I looked at the packet of information just like everybody else did. And the plan that Heather has and that was submitted to her a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago is the correct rendition. So parcel A is basically the same. It's just a little smaller and not as long.
okay, that's right. This is the older one that I'm showing here, but basically, yeah, it stops basically right here, right where the existing shed is. So
Yeah,
it just
I guess,
decreases,
westerly of that existing shed. That's correct.
right? Yep, so it just goes from 4,780 square feet down to 3,762 square feet. But I believe the width of the parcel being transferred is the same. Is that correct, Mr. Conover?
Yes, that is exactly correct.
Yes, okay.
if you'll all bear with me 1 minute. Mark, could you please unshare your screen?
Yep,
Thank you. Does that look like the right parcel?
That's
Yes.
exactly the right parcel.
Great, thank you. I apologize.
So-
I pulled the screen up out of the package, not out of the one that came to us post package.
Correct. So exactly how as I explained and Mark explains, it's just westerly of that existing shed. It's basically the same parcel, just a little shorter, and the area is 3,762 square feet.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Conover. With that settled, any other questions from the board? Any other questions from the public? May I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion that the Air Planning Board endorse the plan for Janiskevitz Investment Trust, parcel A, 3,762 square feet, removed from lot 2A as shown on the plan submitted by David Ross Associates dated March of 2022.
I seconded.
Thank you for the motion, Ken. Thanks for the second, Jonathan. Any further discussion from the board? Hearing none. Jonathan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Thank you. Nathan?
Aye.
Ken?
Aye,
And the chair votes aye. Thank you very much, Mr. Conover.
Well, thank you.
We will, Mark, what's the next step with this? We'll have to,
right, we need signatures. So the
Yep.
board will need to come in and sign both this A&R and the next one if the next one gets endorsed tonight.
okay. Mr. Conover, as soon as we get it signed, we'll have Heather reach out to you and let you know you can pick it up.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, next on our list is a review A&R for East Main Street, one parcel. Roger McPadden, David E. Ross Associates will be, I'm sorry, Kevin, are you doing this one too?
I'm doing this one too.
I tried to give you the bums rush there, sir. I'm sorry. Go
It's
ahead.
okay. I get paid double, I guess, right? This is two parcels of land, pre-existing non-conforming lots situated on East Main Street. I think most of us probably drive by this site twice a day. And what we are doing is we're creating a parcel of land around an existing garage in the rear portion of the property.
Yes. Excuse me, Mr. Conover, is that the property we're talking about?
That's exact property, correct?
Did I get the right file this time?
Yes, that is correct.
Thank you.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
One for two, no worries. So we're creating a parcel of land about 4,250 square feet around an existing building in the rear portion of the property. Like I indicated, the two lots are pre-existing non-conforming because they don't have enough frontage for the allowable district. We're not increasing the non-conforming nature of the lots. We're not bringing them underneath the required area requirements for that particular district. And we're just trying to correct an existing problem similar to the previous plan.
Okay.
So again, we're looking for the board's endorsement of this plan just to create a parcel to go from one lot to the next.
For everybody watching, I zoomed in so you can see the new line comes up. If I'm correct, sir, it goes this way, takes a jog around the shed, heads up to the top and then over to the left. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Thank you. Do members of the board have any insights?
Yes.
Mr. Diskin?
So question for Mr. Conover. Kevin, this may be just a technical point, but is the intent to create a new lot one, which would include the total of 4,250 being added to lot one?
That's correct.
So in that case, it would not be a parcel then at that point in time, right? It would be, it's just part of that lot. So I believe this may not be what you're trying to represent.
Well, for descriptive purposes, we're creating a parcel that goes from one lot to the next. So we could have drawn a dash line between parcel A and lot number one. But for descriptive purposes, it's always better to separate the two. So lot one always existed, lot two has been described, and we're taking that parcel A out of that lot two.
But when you, just again, for clarification, when you record this, are you looking to record it with parcel A not being on the plan at all, but being part of lot one?
Correct. If an attorney's doing a legal description, or if I'm doing a property description of this parcel or this land, I would say lot one and parcel A shown on a plan, recorded at the registry of deeds, such and such a book and page. And similar to lot number two, I would say lot number two shown on a plan, recorded at the registry of deeds.
Okay.
So what our attempt is to do is that lot line between lot one and lot two, as it basically went from East Main Street all the way back to the railroad. Those were two separate ownerships. So we're creating that parcel out of that one and conveying it to the other.
Okay, I guess I'm thinking that part of what you're trying to accomplish here is that line where you've got where the arrowhead is would go away. And then you would just have one lot one bounded by those new meets and bounds around the perimeter, including parcel A. So the building on lot one would be compliant with the setbacks and whatnot. Am I wrong?
No, that's exactly correct. And again, it's for descriptive purposes only that we're showing parcel A in its entirety and lot one in its entirety. So we could have just created parcel A and not even describe where the two lot one and lot two. But for ease of description, it's always better to kind of incorporate or to show the change in the lot lines.
Okay, I'm just.
Yeah, I understand where you're going with this, and I do so much work in titles that it's the 6 1 half dozen the other.
Okay,
way it's
fine.
done, because I'm assuming that when it goes to record, it'll actually have the description. And this will be involved, if I'm correct, Kevin, the description will include parcel A being moved as 4250 over to lot one, parcel one.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
And similar to a lot of descriptions, there'll be one or two or several parcels on a particular deed. Mm-hmm. And again, for descriptive purposes, this eases the attorney's job, so to speak.
You don't think it's sinecure, huh? Okay. Any questions from anybody, either members of the board or the public about this before I take the screen down? Yes.
I have just a quick question, probably out of scope for the actual review here, but will there be a need at some point for a deeded right of way, or is the driveway, are these driveways separate? Is that something that's going to be handled if ever if there's a sale?
Right, that's a good question, whether an easement should be created. But what we attempted to do is put the majority of the driveway for the existing building in the rear to be situated on lot number 1. Lot number 2 already has a driveway on the southerly portion of the property adjacent to the house. Exactly.
Right there.
Exactly. So,
Okay.
you know, we've been in touch with the client and the client's attorney, and they feel comfortable with it as shown.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Nathan. Any other questions
I don't have
or
a question,
observations?
but I have a statement.
Mhm.
So I'd like to thank David Ross and Kevin for the notes on the drawing, which were, I think, very important to have the correct notes. And the notes indicate the whole story, basically, especially note 6, where we're not determining any compliance with zoning or anything else. So
Yes,
I like that.
I'm gonna blow those up for people so they can see them. They're on the lower left-hand side of the drawing right here. Okay. Thank you, Ken. Any other comments? I'm gonna unshare this so I can see who's here. With that, I think it's time to entertain a motion, please.
I'd like
I'll
to
make
make
a
a motion to
uh,
endorse the A&R for East Main Street as described here at this meeting tonight.
Thank you, Jonathan. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ken, for seconding. It's moved and seconded. Any further discussion from members of the board? Hearing none. Jonathan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
Ken?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. It is passed again. I will say, Mr. Conover, as soon as we get the signatures for you, we will be in touch.
Sounds good.
Be careful of the door as you leave the room, sir.
All right, all right. Thank
Thanks,
you very
Kevin.
much. You guys have a great evening.
You too.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Right. And that brings us to our public hearings for the evening. If I'm not mistaken, Mark, we need to open each public hearing, handle the business of the public hearing, and then close each public hearing, correct?
Yes, and also the motion that would attend each public hearing, if the board is, if the subject matter of the public hearing is agreeable to the board and the board agrees with the amendments as proposed, would be to forward a positive recommendation to the town meeting. Since I will prepare a warrant article that will go to the select board by April 1st, so that they can place this on the April 25th town meeting agenda.
Thank you. Okay, so just so everyone's on the same page, we open, we discuss, we close with motion, either way it goes, and then we move on to the next one.
I'd like to
Mr.
make a motion that we open the public hearing for the zoning bylaw amendment regarding the light industrial district correction.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Then we have to,
Second.
Thank you, Nathan, for second. I'm sorry, Ken, you were going to say?
think the title is light industry, Mark, instead of industrial.
Yeah, I've seen it both
Okay,
in the bylaw itself, but I can do a screen share of that table, the table of dimensional requirements.
we want to read the advertisement first, I think.
Oh, yes, correct.
And we have to vote
Yes.
as well.
That's right. You should read
Yes.
the public hearing notice first. Yes.
Mr. Krantz, do you have the public hearing with you, or should you want me to read it?
Please read it. I don't have any of these hearing notices in front of me.
Okay, public hearing notices for
I'm
amendment to
sorry.
the,
Can we have the vote too first, please?
to open the hearing, I'm sorry. Mr. Krantz, Jonathan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
Ken?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. The public hearing notices for amendment to the Ayer zoning bylaw, Town of Ayer, Mass. Planning Board, public hearing notice pursuant to MGL Chapter 40A, Section 5. The Ayer Planning Board will hold remote public hearing on Tuesday, March 22nd, 2022 at 6:15 PM to consider amendment to the Ayer zoning bylaw that proposes to correct a typographical error in the schedule of dimensional requirements, open paren, Ayer zoning bylaw section 6.2, close paren, by correcting the minimum lot size on the light industry LI's, open paren, LI, close paren zoning district from 120,000 square feet to 20,000 square feet. The planning board discovered that the 120,000 square foot minimum lot size is an error carried over from an incorrect reference in the pre-2018 Ayer zoning bylaw. This amendment is proposing to correct that error by making the minimum lot size in the LI district 20,000 square feet as originally intended. The full text of the proposed zoning bylaw can be found on the Town of Ayer website at https://www.ayer.ma.us, and paper copies can be obtained at the clerk's office or at the Ayer Planning Department in Ayer Town Hall during normal business hours. Meeting information can be found on the planning board agenda, which will be posted on the Town of Ayer website or by contacting the planning board office at 978-772-8220, extension 144. Copies were sent to the select board, the building commissioner, the town clerk, the conservation commission, the highway department, Town of Groton, Mass, Town of Littleton, Mass, Town of Shirley, Mass, MRPC, GHCD, and the file. Thank you.
Thank you.
I know why you didn't want to do that, Jonathan.
I don't have them printed out, and a discussion for another time about these packets, but for.
And-
let's keep going.
Later in the meeting, we'll have a discussion.
I'm doing it off the screen, but go ahead. Okay. Mark, I have the board. You want me to share it or you got it ready to go?
No, I have it ready.
Let's go.
Let's see, where's the,
Sorry, I'm kind of hustling. We got a lot to do tonight.
I thought I had it ready.
Here we go. I got it.
Oh, you got it? Okay,
Yep.
thanks. There
Let
you
me
go.
expand it so we can see it. So all those words I read, if I'm going to, is basically this number here. Says 120,000 square feet under light industry on the scheduled dimensional requirements in section 6.2 of the Ayer zoning bylaw. And this amendment is to change that description from 120,000 square feet to 20,000 square feet. And
Mr. Chair?
maintain the other frontage and dimensions. Yes, Mr. Krantz.
Just want to make it clear to the public that this is not a change in the regulation or bylaw. This is just a correction of a typo in this table.
Do we have any further input from the board? I can't see, when I'm sharing my screen, it's difficult to see things. So if you have, we're going to go back to the earlier pre-pandemic pandemic words. If anybody in the public would like to make a comment, please just speak up so I know that you're there, please. Can anybody see any hands go up or anything? I don't see any when
Nope.
I'm sharing my screen. Okay. If there's no further comments from anybody, I'm going to unshare the screen and we'll take a motion.
Yes,
Mark?
I'd like to make a motion that we forward a positive recommendation to town meeting for this correction of the table in the light industry district.
May I have a second, please?
Second,
Thank you for the motion, Jonathan. Thank you for the second, Ken. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Jonathan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
Ken?
aye.
Chair votes aye. Great. Mark, just a matter of, you're now going to write the actual amendment to propose for the town meeting?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, and the planning board should make it clear that they issue a positive recommendation to the select board and to the town meeting on this article.
Okay.
Didn't I do that?
And that'll be in the description of the language at the end of the proposed article, I would guess, right?
Yes,
Yes.
Thank you.
right. Yep.
And I'm going to guess that we may be invited to be at the town meeting and maybe speak to this article. That's something we've done in the past. Okay, I'd like a motion to close the hearing for the zoning bylaw amendment
We
for the
didn't
light
vote.
industry district.
Yeah, we
We
voted.
didn't vote.
Yeah, we did.
We did?
You made the motion, Ken, yes.
And then
It
we
was
voted after
unanimous.
that motion?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
We voted.
I
I'd like
motion,
to make a motion to close the public hearing regarding the zoning bylaw amendment for the light industry district correction.
Second,
thank you. Thank you for the second, Ken. Any further discussion?
I just make
Jonathan?
a final comment that
Please do.
although this public hearing went rather quickly, because part of the reason is we've been discussing this issue for probably 6 or 7 months. So it's been well reviewed and thought out by the planning board before we came to the meeting tonight for the hearing.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. Diskin. Okay, vote to close the hearing. Jonathan,
Aye.
Nathan,
Aye.
Ken,
Aye,
chair votes aye. May we have a motion to open the public hearing for the definition section of the Ayer zoning bylaw, please?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion. We open the public hearing for zoning bylaw amendment regarding changes to the definition section of the Ayer zoning bylaw and
froze up.
dwellings and reordering of listed definitions.
Thank you. May we have a second, please?
Second,
Thank you, Ken. Any discussion? Jonathan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Nathan,
Aye.
Ken?
aye,
Chair votes aye. I will read the notice. I will slow down on this one because there is some meat to this one a little bit differently than the last one. So public hearing notices for amendment to the Ayer zoning bylaw, Town of Ayer, Massachusetts Planning Board Public Hearing Notice. Pursuant to MGL Chapter 40A, Section 5, the Ayer Planning Board will hold a remote public hearing on Tuesday, March 22nd, 2022 at 6:15 p.m. to consider amendment to the Ayer zoning bylaw that proposes to correct the listed order of all definitions to Section 2.0 definitions of the Ayer zoning bylaw by putting them in alphabetic order, and to add and or modify definitions for dwelling. Excuse me, I have to admit somebody. Definitions for dwelling unit, and two-family dwelling. In addition, subdivisions under the defined term adult use are being intended to make it clear that all fall under adult use. No wording of any definitions will change except for dwelling unit, and two-family dwelling as noted above. The full text of the proposed zoning bylaw can be found on the Town of Ayer website at https://www.ayer.ma.ua. That should be US, excuse me. There's a typo. And paper copies can be obtained at the town clerk's office or at the Ayer Planning Department in Ayer Town Hall during normal business hours. Meeting information can be found on the planning board agenda, which will be posted on the Town of Ayer website or by contacting the planning board office at 978-772-8220, extension 144. Copies were sent to the select board, the building commissioner, town clerk, conservation commission, highway department, town of Groton, Mass, town of Littleton, Mass, town of Shirley, Mass, MRPC, DHCD, and through the file. Thank you for your patience all. I'm thinking about how we should do this. Should I share my screen and we scroll through them? And you want to point out the re-alphabetized and then we'll take on the dwelling piece? How do you want to do it?
Right. I would recommend, Mr. Chair, that we just start from the top and scroll down
Okay.
and, and I can point out what changed.
It'd be very
Okay,
helpful
so
if you
no.
could share the screen, Mark. That would be very
Yes.
helpful. Because once I share my screen, I can't see anybody in the meeting.
Okay. All right, can everybody see this?
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay, this is right at, it's really section, that is,
That's section one. We
just
gotta
have to
keep
scroll
going.
down, yeah. I'm trying to find the scroll bar, okay. Here we go, definitions. Okay, so the first thing that needed to be re-alphabetized or actually addressed was in adult use, there are several sub definitions that you see with the arrow. And the last of those was substantial or significant portion. That's referring back to the adult use category. So one of the planning board members initially saw this here, substantial or significant portion, and thought that perhaps that should go way in the back of the entire definition section, but it's actually a modifier of this section. So no wording has been changed here. We just put these arrows to make it clear that all of these are subheadings.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and I'll keep scrolling.
And while Mark's scrolling, I might add a comment, and that is some of the definitions were not in alphabetic order, and it was causing some confusion for applicants. We might have to remind them where it was because they didn't always find it easily. Go ahead, Mark.
Okay, here is the section on dwellings, which does have a few changes. So instead of the main heading being dwelling unit, the main heading now is dwelling, colon. And the new definition would read a building that contains one or more dwelling units used, intended, or designed to be used, rented, leased, let, or hired out to be occupied for living purposes. And dwelling unit is a single unit providing complete independent living facilities for one or more persons, including permanent provisions for living, sleeping, eating, cooking, and sanitation. We deleted the text for accessory apartment, which actually appears above. So, you know, it's still in the definitions, but we just, we didn't want to have redundancy there. And under two-family dwelling, it now reads a detached residential building with two dwelling units designed or intended or used exclusively as a home or residence of two families with two separate entrances and egresses. So those are
you.
the changes to the dwelling definition and sub-definitions. Before I scroll down further, were there any comments on that?
Yeah, any questions or comments from either the board or people who have joined the meeting?
I have
I have
one.
a question. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
yeah. Ken, if you don't mind, Sarah Withy has one. So I'm going to, Sarah, go ahead, please.
I just was wondering like why you're making this, like, as somebody, I'm not familiar with this at all. But like, why are you adjusting the, like, what's your intent?
The overall, if I may, and Mark, please jump, and Ken, please jump in. The reason, are you asking why are we adjusting dwelling unit, or why are we adjusting all of the definitions, or both?
Dwelling unit.
Ken, why don't you jump in on this one? I think you were closer to the discussion. Sorry to put you on the spot.
The primary reason is a clarification. So there's been a situation in the past that questions have come to the Board of Appeals. This was actually done, this was my idea, actually part of my idea, to clarify a question that came up before the Board of Appeals in the past, where discussions and arguments were held over what's the difference between a dwelling and a dwelling unit. And by starting out with the word, as we look around other towns and look into research on what is a dwelling and a dwelling unit, we easily find that the dwelling is the major building and the units are what are inside the building, not the other way around. So this is to straighten out the misunderstanding, the way it was laid out before. And then the final piece with two-family dwelling was to add text that the building inspector, zoning enforcement officer was also interested in, to clarify and add to the description. So we knew it had two separate entrances and egresses. So in the case that people couldn't just walk into the building department and say, look, I want to make my house into a two-family, yet not comply with other standards with the entrances and egresses. And it's mostly for a clarification, but more importantly, to take out the misunderstanding that a dwelling is the primary building and a dwelling unit is something within that building.
Is that helpful, Sarah?
Yeah, thank you.
No, thank you. Honestly, Sarah, this is pretty deep. So thanks for the question. Do you have other questions from people? I don't think so. Any more comments from the board on dwelling unit? Jess, you got something?
Yeah, a quick question. Just on the two-family units. You know, the zoning board's been approached with some applications that have tried to propose a duplex with a single entrance to better fit into a neighborhood. So is that something that would be now not viable?
I got an answer to that.
Please
So,
go. Please go ahead.
I think for clarification, Jess, you might be talking about an architectural feature that looks like a single entrance. But within that
Okay.
entrance, there would be a lobby area that would create the two separate entrances to the units.
Thank you for that clarification. Perfect.
And I would refer to that as a vestibule.
The vestibule, fine, yep.
Okay, thanks.
I hope, Jess, as a member of the Zoning Board of Appeals, I hope this is helpful.
That's why I'm here. Yep.
Thanks. Appreciate you coming. I really do. Good to see you tonight. Okay. Is it, Mark, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that was it as far as changes to the definitions per se.
Yeah.
Within this list of definitions, there were a few that were bunched up, they weren't indented correctly. And I'll just go all the way to the end where we had one instance of that, which we corrected, which was zone 3 here in the printed bylaw was actually sort of appended at the end of zone 2.
There's a
So
run-on
we
sentence. Yeah.
Right. So we just corrected those typos, so to speak. But aside from the indentation for adult use and the sub-definitions, and aside from the changes to the dwelling sub-definitions, there is nothing being changed except to make sure that this was in correct alphabetic order.
Thank you. And that explains why the S was in the A section when we were discussing it last meeting.
Correct.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Any further discussion from the board on this issue?
So just for Mark, so the items that were relocated that might have been out of alphabetical order, they're not highlighted in a color. They're just corrected.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. I think there was only one.
It's only one. It was in this S thing,
Right.
right? Actually, right after
Yes.
sheet 9, maybe.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there. Yeah.
Right.
We could figure it out. It's not that hard. We probably looked at this a dozen times. So
Yes.
Yep. Good.
I appreciate the patience of everybody who's worked
Okay.
on this. Okay.
Yeah.
I think we'd accept a
Yes, I'd like
motion.
to make a motion that we forward a positive recommendation to town meeting and the select board for the changes of definitions and the ordering of definitions as discussed at this meeting.
Thank
Second.
you. Thank you for the second, Ken. Further discussion from the board, if any? Hearing none. Jonathan,
Aye.
Nathan,
Aye.
Ken,
Aye.
chair votes aye. And now may I have a motion to close this hearing, please?
I'd like to make a motion that we close the public hearing regarding the zoning bylaw amendment about changes in the definitions and the ordering of definitions as discussed.
Thank you. Maybe we have a second, please.
Second.
Thank you, Nathan. Moved in second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Ken, how do you vote?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
Jonathan?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Thank you. Okay, Jonathan, next one.
I'd like to make a motion that we open the public hearing regarding the citizen petition zoning bylaw amendment.
Second that.
Thank you, Nathan, for the second. Jonathan moved, Nathan second. Any discussion on this? Hearing none. Jonathan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
Ken?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. And I apologize for not staring at the screen when I was doing this, but I was scrolling to the public hearing notice so I could read it. Public notice. Public hearing notice for an amendment to the Ayer zoning bylaw. 1. Citizens petition to rezone 27 Harvard Road from general residence to general business. Town of Ayer Planning Board public hearing notice pursuant to MGL Chapter 40A, Section 5. The Ayer Planning Board will conduct a remote public hearing at 6:15 p.m. Tuesday, March 22nd, 2022 on a citizens petition warrant article for an amendment to the Ayer zoning map. The citizens petition article proposes to rezone a lot at 27 Harvard Road, map 35, lot 21, from general residence to general business. The lot at 27 Harvard Road is approximately 5.3 acres in area. This complements the rezoning of the adjoining lot at 29 Harvard Road, map 35, lot 22, that was rezoned at the October 2021 special fall town meeting. The full text of the proposed citizens petition article can be found on the Town of Ayer website at https:// www.ayer.ma.us, and paper copies can be obtained at the town clerk's office or at the Ayer Planning Department in the Ayer Town Hall during normal business hours. Any person interested or wishing to be heard on the proposed amendment to the zoning map is advised to contact the planning board office prior to March 15th, 2022. Meeting information can be found on the planning board agenda, which will be posted on the Town of Ayer website or by contacting the planning board office at 978-772-8220 extension 144. Copies were sent to the select board, building commissioner, town clerk, conservation commission, highway department, town of Groton, town of Littleton, town of Shirley, Massachusetts, MRPC, DHCD, and file. Boy, that's a mouthful. Yes,
Mr.
Mr.
Chair,
Archambault, I was going to ask
if
that you
you'd like-
kick us off.
Yes, I can share my screen with Mr. Mapper so that we can all see which parcel is involved in the rezoning request.
Thank you.
Okay, here it is. Okay, can people see this? Can people see this part of Mr. Mapper here?
Yes, thank you.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Okay,
For a moment there, I
so
thought it was upside down, but now I
oh no,
recognize it.
so
Yeah,
this
now I
right here,
recognize
yeah, I'll just give a little bit of orientation. This line right here at the bottom is the Ayer Harvard town line.
You sure?
I hope so.
We're short there.
Yeah. And
Little to the east, maybe
this
not.
this box here is 29 Harvard Road, which was the subject of the citizen petition warrant article proposed by Mr. Maxent that was approved by the special town meeting last October. This larger parcel that basically wraps around the smaller parcel is 27 Harvard Road, which is the subject of the citizen petition for this town meeting. And and Mr. Maxon, I believe, I'll let Mr. Maxon speak for himself, but it's my belief that he is requesting that this be rezoned from general residence to general business, just as this small lot was. There was sort of a misreading of Mr. Mapper and confusion about some of the data layers, and I think it would have been better if we had done both of these lots at the same time, but we didn't discover that error until after it was too late to post for a public hearing for that. So that's why we're doing it now.
Thank you. Mark, could I ask that you enlarge that just a little bit, zoom in just
Yes.
a little bit?
Oops.
Thank you.
Yep,
Appreciate
that's
it.
one level
Yeah,
of zoom.
that's good.
Yep, okay.
Thank you. Mr. Maxon, would you like to have the floor, sir?
Can you hear me? I unmuted.
Yep, I can.
Can you? That building, I know was there in 1946 because my brother and Cammy used to walk from our home down here to get candy bars and soda pops. And I think that gas station has been there since 1922, when Mr. Thayer had a single pump right there. And for some odd reason, when the Ayer zoning was created, they appeared to tax this as commercial. This is residential, and the whole business was colored. What was the color for residential? So when we realized that the highest and best use for this was business or residential, we went ahead and did this with the unanimous vote at the fall town meeting, but we didn't have time to include this, which, and by the way, this was taxed residential, but this has always been taxed commercial. So I'm hoping this is a housekeeping, because this over here is industrial and there's no residences close by. This is the cemetery that the town will acquire. We've built screening along here, brand new fence. So I think the highest and best use is what is proposed as general business. And by the way, what I could do here is severely restricted by the deed that Global handed over for this parcel. Absolutely positively no residential use, no nursing homes, no hospitals, no churches. And that was because they didn't want pedestrian traffic crossing across the road, to pick up items from a store when traffic is going back and forth across here consistently. And so that restriction placed on the lot, that no residential or people intensive use is allowed, I think was a reasonable point of the deed for me to agree to. So now I'm trusting that the citizens of the town of Ayer will agree that both these parcels should be general business.
Any questions from members of the board? Thank you, Mr. Maxon.
Yeah, one clarification just for Mr. Maxon's purpose. The church can go in any zone, so I'm not sure what's in your deed. But churches and daycare are allowed in any zone, so.
No, it's not a question of zoning. It's the deed.
Can't exclude.
When Global transferred the deed on this parcel,
Okay,
they have pages of restrictions, and the town planner has a copy of that deed. You can't do much with it to compete with them across the street. And they absolutely positively do not want any residential use. It's pretty clear in the deed.
Okay.
So that what remains is the only option is a very limited business use. I mean, like a hairdresser or a realty shop, that sort of thing. Can't sell any candy, can't sell any lottery tickets, can't sell any food. The deed restrictions are pretty clear.
so honey's not a food?
Huh?
Honey is
Oh,
not a
honey.
food?
I had that specifically excluded.
Some interesting stuff, but I don't
And
think. that's-
interesting enough, when I went across the street before I left for St. Martin, I was looking to see what they sell. They had honey for sale. Oh, I should have said, you guys can't sell honey, but I never thought of that.
Okay, Ken, go ahead.
Well, I
I'm
think
doing,
that-
I was selling honey there, hoping that, my application to the zoning board of appeals would give me temporary relief from the zoning board of from the building inspector. But the zoning board of appeals document never got processed. So when I heard it wasn't processed, I had the building locked up pending the town meeting vote.
Okay, so
Yeah, but
the thing that's fascinating to all of us, I guess, it's kind of interesting that we have this photograph up here, which shows nothing on the lot, and that's great. But I think we know that's not what's going on in the lot, as you could probably verify, Mr. Maxon. So there is a little controversy regarding your use of the lot now prior to its being rezoned to general business. So would you like to talk about that, or,
you mean what's there now?
yeah, what's there now that has no,
Well,
business
yes,
use?
I gotta be perfectly honest with you. This front building here, can you see the arrow?
Yeah.
That's the honey house. That's the honey house. It's basically unoccupied. People serve themselves. So there's nobody inside there ever. This little section up here, I agreed to rent to Johnny
So-
Flagg.
Yeah,
Now, the
I'm sorry,
reason-
Mr. Maxon, we actually can't see your arrow on our screen. So I'm
Okay.
going to assume you're talking about, Mark can move his arrow. So can you see
Yeah.
that? Yep, go
Are you
ahead.
talking
move-
north of the
That
building?
little wooden building behind the concrete,
This-
that's it.
Okay,
I had no idea that this property was zoned anything other than general business, because the tax bills have been taxing this place for what, maybe 50 years as business use. So when there's a huge parcel of land on the far side of town where the funeral home is, that used to be owned by the Flagg family. And I think it's been sold for a massing housing project. And so Johnny had no place to go with his little machinery for making railings and artistic items. So I said to Johnny, sure, I mean, it's an empty thing. You can use it. But I had no idea that it wasn't a perfectly acceptable use for that piece. And there is a Chesapeake Landscaping is parking two pieces of heavy equipment on this property for trimming trees, but those machines are parked on the piece that is currently zoned general business. So, I mean, I haven't been.
I think, Mr. Maxon, the source of confusion is you may be receiving invoices from the tax assessor
Right, that is correct.
based on the use of the property.
Yes.
And I
No,
understand that.
It's been taxed like, it's been taxed, even Global's bills were taxed as residential. I mean, as business use.
Yeah, and
It's
if you
all-
think, I'm sorry, sir, if you think that is an improper use tax of the building, they have the abatement process you can go through with the assessor's department.
I understand
So
that.
that's one, you know, it'd be great if we could fix that, but there's a planning board, it's out of our lane if you get the expression. So that's one. And the building commissioner enforcement officer has been working to try and have you cease and desist the activities that are going on right now because the property hasn't been rezoned as a business use.
Well,
And I appreciate that
it
we're
wa-
having this conversation about it.
yeah, it was he that recommended that I make an application for the zoning board of appeals. And while that was being heard, he would allow this to continue.
Well, that would be the
I don't,
zoning board of appeals. who would make the
the
allowance.
zoning board of appeals application got through the clerk's office, but it never got processed by the zoning board of appeals. And now with a short time left to go before the annual town meeting, I said that Weiss is the best use, lock it up. We only got 4 weeks to go, and then the town will decide. So
We have other-
I'm not gonna, why should I resubmit the zoning board of appeals application? They wouldn't hear it. There's not enough time. And they had plenty of time since November, December, January, ever since Mr. Schultz said, I think we have a problem here with a conflicting zoning issue. And even the town planner was taken by, everybody was taken by surprise that this was an issue. Most of us thought that this was always general business.
I wasn't taken by surprise, and I'm part of the world.
So
And
do we have, excuse me, Mr. Maxon, we have a lot of business we're going to try and cover this evening, but I do want to give this fair shakes. Anybody on the board have any further comment on this? Any further questions on this?
I'd like to
Mr.
ask,
King?
I would like to ask Mark to verify the situation regarding the application to the zoning board of appeals, if he has the information.
Ken, I do not. I understand that Mr. Maxon either prepared and submitted or was getting ready to submit. I have not actually seen the ZBA application form.
So
But
I
I can't speak to why, they didn't process it right away, but
if you may, I've done a little bit of research on this and I can opine not in exact language, but my understanding is that the application that was submitted to the zoning board of appeals was not a complete application as it was submitted.
I'd like to make a
And-
recommendation, if I can make one more comment, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Ziskin, please do.
I think that the logic is very simple, that, with this lot should end up as general business. I think that's pretty hard to find a fault with that logic. But I would like to recommend to Mr. Maxon that to get my endorsement of that changed, that equipment on the site that is not legally there, does not belong there legally at this point, meaning the landscape company and the welding company, be removed from the site now. And then the application be submitted to the Board of Appeals in good order, in good faith. And if those businesses are then allowed, they can come back. But to leave that stuff there and just, we have to drive by it and see landscaping equipment that we know doesn't belong, necessarily there. It's not allowed in that district under general business. Whatever the case might be, I think it makes it clearer to the residents that in good faith, a step has been taken back. The land gets changed to general business at the town meeting. An application is then put into the zoning board of appeals to allow uses that may or may not be allowed under general business use.
Thank you.
Say that again, I didn't quite get that.
Okay.
The
That's what
landscaping.
I think I'll start over for clarification. So I think it's
Can
27.
you pause, your machine paused while you were talking? Could you please start again?
My machine did?
Yeah, something happened.
Wow, okay.
Now,
That's a
let me
first.
just finish. I could tell Chesapeake to move his machinery out of there. But it is on the piece that's zoned general business.
It is on that, but that's not an
it-
allowed
it-
use. That's not an allowed use on that lot.
In a
It's still
general
good.
business, it's,
A landscaping contract business is not an allowed use on that lot. So,
in general business, you're telling me
Correct.
a landscaping company is not allowed in general business.
that's correct, without ZBA approval or some other change, right?
Well, then I'll have to tell them, move it.
Okay, good. So what I'm getting at is, I think, as I started by saying, it's logical that this lot, in my opinion, is logical that this lot should be general business and that the two lots together would be general business. But in good faith, to get to the town meeting, the businesses that do not belong there currently would be removed before town meeting. Then, and you put an application to ZBA in to allow them to come back. And if they're allowed to come back, that's fine. It goes through ZBA. In the meantime, the lot is basically back to the honey hut, and the self-service issue that you've got there, or nothing in the meantime.
Yeah, nothing's happening right now. We locked it up.
Right. So that way it's clear that, the lot is not being used inappropriately under zoning. You get it rezoned to general business. If you want to use a business on the lot that's not allowed under zoning, you go to the ZBA and to bring the businesses back if they're approved. That's my thoughts as one member only.
I appreciate those thoughts, Mr. Diskin. That's actually, I see that as a way to a solution. Do other members of the board have any comments?
I concur with Mr. Diskin.
And Nathan?
Just for Mark, it'd be really helpful, Mark, to have this exact screenshot, maybe even a little clearer for our meeting, so that any questions can be directed at something visual. Would appreciate that.
Yes, for town meeting.
Town meeting.
And Mr. Chair and the planning board, I also wanted to mention that a key aspect of development of the two parcels is site plan review. So whatever type of business uses are proposed, site plan review is a key step prior to any building permits or occupancy permits being issued.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
Yeah.
No, I agreed. I also just did a little bit of research in the background. There is no zoning board of appeals meeting scheduled for the next. There was the meeting for this month is not going to happen. The next regularly scheduled meeting for the zoning board of appeals is April 20th, 2022, which will indeed happen prior to the town meeting.
So there potentially is time to get an application in.
I'm just reading the meeting notice on the zoning board of appeals website right now. I wanted to make sure, Mr. Diskin, as you made that recommendation, that Mr. Maxim would have that avenue, and that avenue does exist for him.
Well, right at this point, I am not clear what to do with this property. So I'll just have to wait to see how the town meeting votes. And then if a business comes along that needs a ZBA application, I know how to do it because I've been on the Harvard Zoning Board of Appeals for 20 years.
Oh, good.
So
Thank you.
that's not a problem as far as if it's a non-allowed use, but it would maybe be acceptable. You go to the ZBA and they grant relief.
Mhm.
But first and foremost, I have to see that both parcels are zoned the same. And if they're not, then that creates a whole new scenario, like the other member suggested. I would have to go to the assessor's office and ask for a rebate on the $10,000 in taxes that have been paid in at the higher rate, and figure out what to do with a residential lot that I can't use as a resident.
So,
So there you go.
yep. Well, no, we appreciate the conundrum you're in, sir. And unfortunately, part of the problem is we've got uses on the lot right now that are not approved. And I believe you said that you are willing to ask the current businesses that are on the lot to move off of the lot.
Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, as far as Johnny Flagg, I'm not gonna ask Johnny Flagg to move his machinery out of there. I'll just ask Johnny to shut the door. That would be unfair. He's a citizen of Ayer, lifelong citizen.
Sir,
If he
I'm
has a
sorry,
piece,
Mr. Maxon,
what?
you cannot choose what's fair and unfair for the town of Ayer.
Right.
The
But
residents of, excuse me, sir, I'm sorry to be rude and to speak over you, but the residents of Ayer have been complaining about the non-conforming use of this lot. There are currently businesses on it. The enforcement officer has sent you a cease and desist to no avail. I appreciate that you don't want to tell somebody not to use the property because they're a lifelong resident. But
No,
every other
I
lifelong
don't-
resident, excuse me, every other lifelong resident in this town's rights are getting stepped on at that point, sir. You need to
Yes,
weigh
I
that in the
understand
balance,
that.
please.
I'll tell the guy to take his trucks out of there.
It's up, and it is not,
That's-
it is
that's-
not, it is
And I
not up
locked
to.
the building.
Yeah. It
And
is
I
not up
locked the
to,
building.
it
What
is
do you
not,
want me to do? Tear
It is-
down the building?
it is the zoning enforcement officer's decision. Please let him know when you've made arrangements for the businesses there to cease and desist, and he will follow up.
So I send him a letter and tell him that, or send him an email, and tell him the building's locked up.
Thank you.
And it has been.
Any further comments from the members of the board?
So I want to be clear, the commitment from Mr. Maxon is that the non-conforming use of the welding shop, that'll be locked up so it can no longer function that way, and that the landscaping trucks that are non-conforming will be removed.
Yes. What other choice do I have?
Well, you can,
It's too late to go to the ZBA if the landscaping trusts are not a permitted use in the business district. I have to tell them, move, get them out of here.
Mhm.
And the welding shop, close it up. He's never there anyway, because most of his business is working at Pepsi. He's an outside welder.
Mhm.
He doesn't work there, but
Mhm.
he's a guy with a truck that goes to Pepsi or whoever calls him, an excavator that's broken out in the field. Do you understand that? But that's where people don't come there and buy anything from Johnny. That's the whole point.
it's understood, sir. And that would be a great presentation to the zoning board of appeals. It's outside of our lane. Thank you. Any further, I'm not going to ask for a motion this evening. We have 2 more meetings before the town meeting. I don't think, Mr. Maxon, you would get a favorable outcome this evening from the planning board.
Are you
So,
asking me a question?
I'm sorry, it's a statement also. Any more comments from the planning board before I open up the comments if I open up to the public? Thank you. Pauline, you've had your hand up very patiently. I appreciate it.
2 questions, Mr. Chair. Actually, I had one at the beginning. The first question pertains to where Mr. Maxon's application to the zoning board of appeals would have been filed, whether to Ms. Hampson or someplace else.
I don't know the answer to that. I'm sorry. You'll have to check with
It
the town
was-
clerk's office, please.
Well,
It was-
maybe,
yeah,
could Mr.
November.
Maxon answer?
November or December
Okay,
before I
November.
left for St. somewhere in there before I left for St. Martin, I filed the application with the check for $169, including the extra money for all the abutters lists. All that was attached and filed with the town clerk.
With the town clerk. All right, thank you. That was
Right.
the answer to the question.
Yeah, with the assurance from the zoning inspector that would suffice, and that the what is occurring there now would be acceptable until the Ayer town meeting.
All right, fine. And the town, when you say the building inspector, you mean Mr. Schultz?
Yes, Mr. Schultz.
All right.
I'm
thank you.
sorry.
That's-
Thank you. Susan, would
what-
you like to, Madam Clerk, would you like to opine on
Mr.
this?
Chair? Mr.
Yes,
Chair,
please.
I said I had a
I'm
second
sorry, Pauline,
question.
you'll have to wait, please. Thank you.
All righty.
Ms. Copeland, would you like to opine, please?
I can reply, I can wait, but I just,
Quite all right.
the applications and the check were not filed with me. I don't take zoning board applications or a check. I did not take that in November. So I just wanted to clarify that piece.
Thank you. I'm actually unclear where the ZBA application goes, to be honest with you. Would that be, can you help with that?
Should go
that-
to Carly.
To Carly, yeah.
Town manager's office. Okay, thanks.
Mhm.
Carly's
Okay.
the administrator to the Board of Appeals. If Jess would verify if she's there.
Okay, great, thanks.
Yep, I can verify. That's who does our agendas and receives applications.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, Ms. Copeland. Pauline, would you like to continue, please?
Yes, Mr. Chair, my second question pertains to a comment that you made. These complaints that citizens have made related to the uses of the property on Harvard Road, where are those complaints filed and how does one obtain copies?
Oh, geez.
Again, I don't know the answer to that question. I do know that the zoning enforcement officer has been made aware of them, and by all means, I believe that's where you need to go.
I will check with him in the morning, but is it fair to say the planning board has no copies of those complaints?
May I
To
ask
which
a
you
question?
alluded.
May I ask a question, Pauline?
Of me?
Yes,
Sure.
the planning board is not an enforcement agency. Why would we get the complaints?
Well, I'm not asking that you got, I'm not suggesting you did. I'm
Okay.
asking if you did because you referred to them, which suggested to me that you knew of them and therefore may have seen them.
I am aware of a letter that was sent for cease and desist in January of this year to Mr. Maxent.
Fair enough. I have a copy of that as well.
Thank you. Anything
But
else?
you have no copies of any complaints that were allegedly filed.
Anything else, Pauline?
A yes or no would be fine.
I have no copies of any complaints by any individual townspeople in any case anywhere about any perceived zoning infractions. I have
Excellent.
no
Thank you.
specific individual ones, none on Central Ave, none on Harvard Road, none of them. Thank
But
you.
yet you know of them.
Just for Pauline's information,
Yes,
many of the complaints don't necessarily have to be written or in writing or sent in any other way. They could be simply telephone complaints. And I have a
Yeah,
complaint that I didn't write up. I complained about it to Charlie. And so I think there's other people in the town who may very willingly have called to the office and left complaints or discussed it with the zoning enforcement officer. They're not necessarily in writing. So I'm not sure what you're getting at having them in writing. So anyway.
Well, fair enough, Ken, and I appreciate your
Excuse me.
clarification and I agree. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ken. Susan, do you have your hand still up, or is that an artifact?
I'm sorry.
Oh, your hand's still up. I'm wondering if you meant that.
Oh,
or if you
oh,
just
I'm sorry.
Left it up.
No, I'm trying to, my volume went out and my hand's up and I'm trying to figure it out. Sorry.
Well, I appreciate you being with us tonight. It's great to see you. It's great to see you. It's great to see you. Okay.
Do you need a motion to continue this public hearing to our next meeting?
I think that would be the right way to go.
I
Do
make a mo,
anybody else on the board, does anybody else on the board want to opine on, have a comment on that? Let's do a continuation, I think. It's the fairest thing.
I can make a motion that we continue the public hearing for the citizen petition zoning bylaw amendment as discussed this evening to our next scheduled public planning board meeting.
Second.
Thank you. And did you second that, Ken? Thank you. Moved and seconded for continuance. Any further discussion on the board?
Does
Hearing
Mr.
none,
Maxon
John. I'm
wanna
sorry,
make a
Ken?
Does Mr. Maxon want to make a comment on the continuation or? Is he good with it?
I'm just hoping the town of Ayer and its citizens realize or consider that the highest and best use of this is to have both lots zoned the same.
Yep, we agree
And
with
that's
that.
that's the simplest part of the matter. They really expressed unanimously with 300 signatures that the small portion be zoned from residential to business, and it makes common sense that we should continue on this course and get them all the same. And from there on in, I need help from the building inspector and the town planner as to the proper use of this property going into the future. And it certainly can't be residential. It won't be that residential unless you want to zone it back again to residential, which is sort of like playing ping pong.
Well, thank you.
So I'm hoping for planning board support when the time comes.
Thank you.
Irregardless of the small issues that you may be angry with me at, and I don't think that I've deliberately done anything. I've tried my very best to cooperate with Mr. Schultz and any advice I've been given by the Ayer Town planners. And I hope that you won't hold this small issues against the large picture, which is the future of the town of Ayer and how it's going to look in the future. And I think this piece of land is a nice piece of property for the town of Ayer to zone at a higher tax rate. That's the big issue.
Well, Mr.
That's what the planners probably.
I think we need to move on.
Yeah, Mr. Maxon, I want to say thank you very much because that is indeed what we are attempting to do. And we are currently in a situation where the land is being used in a way that it is not zoned for, whether or not it's taxed at a rate for that. So we have a motion to continue the hearing. Any further discussion from members of the board? Hearing none. Mr. Krantz, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Connor has his hand up.
We have a motion on the table and we've already closed for public comment.
Okay,
Mr. Krantz, how do you vote?
Aye.
Okay, Nathan, how do you vote?
Abstain.
Ken, how do you vote?
aye.
And chair votes aye for the continuance. Before we close this hearing, Mr. O'Connor, would you like to make a comment?
Yes, I would like to just congratulate you all and thank you. As your town moderator, I listened to the 3 warrant articles that you discussed very professionally and neutrally, and I'm very glad to be able to learn your thoughts before town meeting. I look forward to the follow-up session when you discuss Mr. Maxon's again, but I do thank you for your professionalism.
You're welcome.
Mr. Krantz, would you like to please close the hearing for now?
Well, let's continue.
I'm sorry, we continued. I'm sorry. Thank you. Thanks. So let's have a public hearing, site plan review for 65 Westford Road, New England.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion. We open the public hearing for the site plan review for 65 Westford Road, New England Power.
Thank you very much. Any discussion? I need a second, please.
Second,
Thank you, Ken, for the second. Any further discussion? Mr. Jonathan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
Ken?
aye.
Chair votes aye. Thank you very much. And it looks like we've got Joshua and Richard with us this evening again, correct?
Good evening, Mr. Chair and members of the board. Can folks hear me, first of all?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay, great. Wonderful. So I've got sort of an administrative question to kick things off. We also have a stormwater permit that's also on the agenda. I'm wondering if the board, in a circumstance like this, where it's the same applicant, same project, whether the board will typically vote to consolidate both items to be heard together.
What we
If
can
that
do
would
is open both. Mr. Chair, would you like a motion to open the stormwater?
Yes, please do.
I'd
And
like to make a motion to
go ahead,
open.
please.
I'd like to make a motion to open the public hearing for the stormwater management permit for 65 Westford Road, New England Power.
Second.
Thank you for the second, Mr. Diskin. Assume we have no discussion. Jonathan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
Ken?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Well, you got the first one to win, Mr. Smith. Congratulations.
Okay.
Thank you for reminding us, sir.
No problem. I appreciate it. And Mr. Chair, through the chair to the town planner, do you have our slide deck available?
Yes, I will share it right there.
Okay.
Can
Excellent.
everybody see this?
Yes.
Okay.
Well-
So Mr. Smith, just let me know when you want me to forward through the next set of slides.
Okay,
when you want me
wonderful.
to- Yep.
Good. Okay, so just for the record, my name is Joshua Lee Smith. I'm here tonight representing New England Power Company in connection with this matter. I promise to be brief. It's been somewhat of a long night, I know, for the members. So we'll just get right to the point. As you can see here in this first aerial, this is a depiction of the existing conditions of this site. To the right of Westford Road, or to the east of Westford Road, is the subject project parcel and project area. This is an existing substation, electric substation, and what is commonly referred to as an unmanned electric substation. I want to just briefly give some background with respect to this substation, how it's been used, and the relatively minor project that the company is proposing. So the property obviously is off of Westford Road. This substation site is within the town's industrial zoning district. It's also technically within the wireless overlay district as well, but obviously there's no wireless communication component of this project tonight. The site itself has been used as an electric substation for over 50 years, so going back to the early 1970s. And what the company is proposing to do, Mark, if you could advance to the next slide, please.
Actually, Mark, I'm going to ask, could you put this into a slideshow so we can see the whole screen?
Yeah, let me see.
Bottom
Yeah.
right hand.
Oh,
Yep.
I might.
Tell you what, Mark, go all the way to the bottom. Click not now, please. The last icon on the right before the slider. Keep going to the right.
Oh, right here.
That's it.
There we go. Okay.
Thank you very much. Now you can click to advance. Thank you.
Great.
Click
Okay.
anywhere.
Up right there. Okay.
Yeah, so this is one of the drawings that was submitted as part of our application. And just so the members and the audience is clear, what the company is seeking with respect to zoning is a site plan review approval. So this is a depiction of the existing conditions version of the site by way of a civil drawing prepared by VHB. This shows the site, it's an approximately 40-acre site in terms of its size. And again, it's an unmanned substation. Mark, if you could advance to the next slide, please. As you can see here on the lower left or the southwesterly portion of the site, grayed out is the area that is the area for the project. What is being proposed is essentially an expansion of the existing substation use. Technically, what is being proposed is what's called a switching station. So it will be part of the substation, which, by the way, is known as Sandy Pond Substation 237. So Sandy Pond Substation 237 will be expanded by adding this. It's an approximately 29,000 square foot in terms of its footprint size inside the proposed security fencing area that will have a similar look and feel as the existing substation. It will contain crushed stone surface. It will contain electric equipment similar to what's inside the substation now with respect to circuit breakers and switches, disconnect switches, dead end structures, structures and equipment that are very similar in nature to what's existing there today. I want to point out that where you can see that switching station, the distance from the switching station to the edge of pavement to Westford Road is over 100 feet, is about 102 feet from the closest point of that switching station, the proposed switching station, to Westford Road. That's consistent with the rest of the substation that it currently exists today. It's pretty far set off from the street. And then, of course, in the neighborhood, which you could have seen from the aerial, and for those who are familiar with the site itself, this being an industrial district, naturally, there are a number of industrial properties surrounding this site. There's warehouses, distribution sites, manufacturing sites. Across the street, there are also a limited number of residences. But I do want to underscore the fact that this is a large site, and it's over 100 feet setback from it. Basically, it has a 100-foot front yard setback from the edge of pavement from Westford Road. Mark, if you could advance to the next slide, please. This is a more close-up depiction of the proposed project. What's depicted here are those little squares and rectangles. Those are essentially approximate areas where equipment pads will be located. So atop those foundational pads will be the various equipment that I had mentioned previously. The red language there that you can see on the bottom makes reference to critical energy infrastructure information, or otherwise known as CEII, which is why we cannot show all of the structures and equipment specifically on this property. This is what's referred to as a bulk power substation. So certain information is, for security purposes, needs to remain confidential. But we feel that the information that's shown here clearly shows the approximate areas where the proposed equipment will be located. As I had mentioned before, there's currently an existing, the existing substation is surrounded by security fencing, chain link fencing atop of barbed wire. The switching station proposed under this project will also continue that fencing, that security fencing. However, it will be, the current fencing varies in height. This proposed fencing that will secure the switching station will be 8 feet plus 1 foot of barbed wire, which is National Grid standard height with respect to these types of substations in most circumstances. Mark, if you could advance to the next.
I'm sorry, Joshua.
Yes.
I think you mentioned before, I had a senior moment there. Chain link fence, correct?
That's correct.
Thank you. Okay.
Through the chair to Mr. Smith.
Yes.
I just want to clarify something that the audience or people watching me have a question about. I see that the corner of this proposed project cuts into a line on the map, this oval. Is that just a contour line indicating a change in elevation? Could you just clarify that for us?
My vision is not that great.
It's the buffer zone line, 100 foot and 50 foot.
So this is is there a wetland in the middle of that? Is that, what are we buffering here?
Yes,
Yes.
there's several wetlands on the site.
Okay, so that first line that it cuts into is the 100 foot, not the 50, right?
Correct.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, so I want to clarify that if it's within the 100, that's within our regulations. It's not breaking the 50, right?
They've been to conservation and got a notice of intent.
Okay.
Yeah, you're correct.
Just wanted to
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Krantz and Mr. Diskin. Yes, that is correct. We in fact did obtain an order of conditions a while back with respect to this project. And Richard Lewis is also, the site civil engineer, is also on the line. So he will also, Rich, feel free to interject, but he will also be discussing the stormwater as well as he can address any wetlands related questions. Appreciate your question. So I think I had just been talking a little bit about some of the features and improvements with respect to the project and its components. I will point out that the access itself to and from the site is not changing. That's not being modified or altered. There's not going to be any change with respect to sight lines. As I said before, this is an unmanned substation. For those who are familiar with the site, this is not a site that will result in or has today large volumes of traffic coming to and from the site. This switching station certainly is not going to generate any new traffic. I'll also point out that this switching station, unlike the balance of the substation that exists there today, no new buildings are contemplated in connection with this switching station project. All that is proposed insofar as structures and equipment are concerned are non-building related equipment and structures. I will also point out that I had mentioned that the site is located pretty far off the street pavement right of way. In terms of the size, type, the massing, the types of materials and equipment, again, is going to be very compatible with what's already there today. Certainly not a detriment to the neighborhood. I did want to address one item, and this is reflected in the staff memorandum that Mark had prepared pertaining to lighting. There will be a couple of new light poles that will be contemplated to be constructed as part of and within this switching station. They'll be about 25 feet in height. We are seeking a waiver with respect to a photometric plan. We feel that the existing lighting is quite dim there now with respect to the substation site that's existing there today. The lighting at night is really limited only to task-related lighting, and my understanding from the operations manager of the site is that there may be a light that shines on the security gate. But otherwise, very similar limited lighting, dark sky compliant lighting will be provided in connection with this switching station. Last thing I do want to mention is that this use is a public utility use, which is a by right use. We've met with the town planner. We've also had discussions with Charles Schultz, the building commissioner, regarding this project. Our understanding is that the only zoning related, discretionary zoning related relief or approval that would be required in connection with this project is in fact the site plan review approval by this board, as well as the stormwater permit that we're also seeking that was mentioned earlier. So with that, as I'd mentioned, we do have Rich Lewis here, and I think he's on the line. So Rich, do you want to talk a little bit about the stormwater permit?
Yes, absolutely. Good evening, everyone. For the record, my name is Richard Lewis, and I'm the Director of Engineering in the Energy Market at VHB. I'm here representing National Grid and New England Power Company. Along with our site plan application, we've also submitted a stormwater permit application. It's a major permit due to the amount of disturbance. And I think if I could share my screen, we can run through it and show people the details. That's okay. Let me give it a
I
shot.
stopped sharing that, so I can go back to that one later in a minute.
I'm not sure if you have it available, Richard. Do you? Yes, you do. Good.
Yep.
How's that?
I have control. I was clicking on. I got a weird message, so I'm glad you can do it. Go ahead.
Okay. Great. Okay, so what Josh just described for us is the substation expansion portion of the project. But there are a couple of other components that make up the total of the 47,000 square feet of disturbance, which is why we're in front of you for the major stormwater permit. There is this duct bank right here. Okay, which runs from an existing pole in the back of the substation underneath the paved driveway out to the to Westford Road, and then also continues down to the new expansion. There's 4 manholes associated with it. There's also some improvements and maintenance that needs to occur out on the existing right-of-way, as well as a proposed pole at the back of the substation, which I guess will be a new switch. It's worth noting that due to the classification of the substation, transmission O&M personnel cannot travel through the substation to get out to the back to deal with the switch. They have to remain outside of the substation, which is it's a strange thing, but this particular facility is very high from a security standpoint. So in the right of way, we're basically proposing to do three separate activities. We've got some veg maintenance, which I can zoom in so people can see a little better, which is this hatching here. Then we've got some fixing of potholes and ruts as vehicles come in and turn around this existing pole. So we're going to clean that up. And then we're also going to extend the access over to these two new pole locations. Okay, so we've captured that disturbance in our calculation.
Yeah,
So,
Rich, just for clarification and maybe to help the board, you can point out, using this drawing, you can point out the location of the wetlands that were discussed
Oh.
with conservation.
yeah, absolutely. Here they are right here with the numbers on. So we have this complex here, an isolated complex here, and then another complex down in the lower southwest corner.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And the two lines you're seeing are the 50 and the 100.
Mhm.
All right. Zooming in on the substation portion. These are the light locations that Josh was referring to, just in case anyone wanted to understand that.
That's
And
helpful.
again, yeah, they're task lighting. They shine onto this equipment. So somebody is going to enter the site, flip a switch, and go over to the equipment to fix it. Other than that, they're off. Okay, so as Josh had mentioned, the expansion is roughly 29,000 and change square feet within the expanded fence. There's also a crushed stone apron outside the fence, which is used to keep personnel safe from ground. So there's a separation to ground in the event that there's a stray current or so. So that's why you'll typically see crushed stone around a substation. Okay, and then so that's about 31,000 square feet. And then our total disturbance for the substation is about 36,000 square feet. And that includes the drainage and associated grading. The drainage that we're proposing is fairly simple. It's 2 infiltration swales. The yard itself, because it's treated with 6 inches of crushed stone, it has a significant initial absorption. It takes a tremendous amount of rain, and infiltrates it into the ground. So we're only proposing 860 square feet of new impervious, and that's all foundation, pedestal type foundations. But just with the changing cover from vegetation to crushed stone, we were required to attenuate peak flows. And to do that, what we're proposing are 2 vegetated swales. They're only a foot deep. They will barely be noticed, and they'll be grassed and vegetated with the grass, as is the surrounding area, and then they'll be maintained on a periodic basis when the area is mowed and what have you. So as far as low impact design goes, it's perfect. It's not something that you're really going to notice, but it does a great job.
Mm-hmm.
And then overall, we're meeting all the standards. We're attenuating peak flows. We have reductions in total flow and volume. We're far exceeding our infiltration requirements as well as our water quality volume requirements. We're meeting all the standards with relative ease. And that's because the substation's got that 6 inches of crushed stone as the treatment and very little impervious.
Richard?
Yes, sir.
Nathan here. If those 2 swales are those the swales on the drawing here? Can you point
Yes.
them out?
Absolutely. So we have this one here. Again, it's only a foot deep. So the substation itself is at 262.3, and the rim of this swale is at 262, and the bottom's at 261. So water is going to shed through the crushed stone, find its way into the swale, and then spill over the edge. In a 100-year storm, maybe. And then here's the other swale over here. There's a transmission tower right here, which is not shown because it had to be shut off, which is why we didn't propose any BMP in this area. But these two BMPs alone more than cover the minimum requirements, as well as percentage of impervious being treated, which is we're at about 76%. It's also worth noting that this is a zero total suspended solids producer. It's a crushed stone surface where a truck will have driven several hundred feet over crushed stone before it enters into this area. So you're not talking about a large paved area where you're going to have a lot of, suspended solids and have to deal with a lot of treatment. There's the water leaving the site is going to be as clean as can be.
It may not leave the site. It probably
No.
gets infiltrated.
It mostly doesn't.
You mean
Right.
into the ground, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I'm actually having a hard time imagining it getting into the swales, to be honest with you, but that's
Well,
okay.
Me too.
My quick
Well-
numbers are like, this is an incredible amount of remediation. It really is, but it needs to be done. So I'm glad you're
Right.
doing it.
Well, and then over in this area here, if you were to go out onto the site, you would notice that there is an existing swale around the site. It's not necessarily being picked up in this topography.
Mhm.
And when I was out there, I did note a little water in it. So I think it's a big site. So if it rains hard, water will shed, so
Yeah,
having
and
some
we've had-
perimeter control is good.
And we've had frozen ground the last couple of weeks, had a lot of water in very, very short periods of time. Not a
Right.
100-year storm, but we've had what looks to be, the 25 to 50 years, and we're seeing it. So no, I appreciate, it's good that it's being taken care of. So,
Yeah, the frozen ground is obviously one of the worst conditions. A rain event on top of frozen ground is when you have problems that you won't have in larger storms.
another month or so, we won't have that anymore around here.
That's true. The other item that triggered the major was total earthworks. So we have earthwork volumes around 2,700 cubic yards, which is in excess of the 2,200.
Mhm.
Most of which, two major items, the duct bank installation, which almost all the material that's excavated for the duct bank will be removed and replaced with a sand bed, the duct bank itself, and then decent gravel before it's repaved. And then the yard itself, there's a slight knoll on the yard here, C264, we're taking it down to 262. And so we've got another like 1,400 cubic yards, believe it or not, that have to come out of here before we bring it back to grade. So again, 2,700, give or take, roughly.
I'm trying to remember the last discussion about, I think it was with this project, and that substance is going to leave the site. You're not leaving it there.
Right, it will definitely leave the site only because we want to limit the amount of disturbance to the vegetation.
Thank you. I'm reminded of the conversation. Thank you.
Yeah, Richard, can you go to the last page and show us the section that talks about the excavation? The detail on the crushed stone. Just blow it up if you can. So in essence,
Should not be right up though.
Excuse me?
I translated that to MMA dot, okay? Mass dot.
Hate that.
Yeah.
Hate when that happens.
Computers, what can you do?
So
We're-
even
I'm
when you
sorry.
start at 262, you're going to be taking 2 feet. You're going to be cutting 2 feet to put this new material in. You're not using gravel on site, right? For that 18-inch base?
Unless it meets spec. And
all right,
I don't know what's out there, but the 1,400 cubic yards was included some over excavation.
Okay, but so what I'm getting at is that spec that you've listed on there helps comply with the stormwater infiltration that you're talking about. That's what I'm trying to get at. It's not just a random material. It's a material that's used to accommodate the drainage right on the site.
Right.
Into the soil. Thanks.
And you're gonna update that so it says MassDOT.
I will.
I'm assuming you're using
apologize for
MassDOT
that.
spec. That's quite all right. Rhode Island needs all the help it can get these days. It's a small state, you know?
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing is because National Grid operates in multiple states, they
Mhm.
try to use those standards in those states. So if you're doing multiple projects for them, you can trip every now and again and grab the wrong detail. So I do apologize.
When I was doing construction, we say locally acceptable construction practices.
No, there you go. Right.
It just
Keep it simple.
Yeah, because you're gonna have to reprint this and send it to us because Mr. Distance not gonna let it go through with our IDOT.
Maybe they
Thank
have to
you.
bring it
I
from.
appreciate your
I
sense
mean,
of humor about it, Richard.
Yeah.
Huh?
If National Grid wanted to use RIDOT approved material, that wouldn't really be any skin off anyone's back, would it?
I know.
But
He's got a better contract down there.
yeah. Procedurally, do I have to put a signature stamp on this plan set?
Well, it has it right now, right?
No, I do not have a signature for the
Down in
board.
the lower right corner, that's not a stamp.
Oh no, it's stamped by a professional engineer. I meant for the planning board to approve it.
Um,
An endorsement block?
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like that. I can't see because it's small, but yeah, I would ask for that. We're gonna have to sign, we have to accept it and sign it, so.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, why don't you? And also, if you wouldn't mind could you go to the next page, please?
Absolutely.
And could you blow up the block where additions are on it and dates? We'd like to have, so permitting September, so plans go through revisions and the dates change. We'd like to have the date of the final plan on the plan, please.
Okay.
I know it's weird, but 15, 20 years from now, someone's gonna have to look at this. And we've come across problems where we've had to look at plans that were, not all of the plans were recorded with the same date. It's confusing. I'd like RIDOT versus MassDOT. It's a detail that can cause problems in the future, but I'd appreciate it.
Okay. So should I issue the set for signature for approval and then have all the dates be a date next week or something like that?
Mark, how do you want to do it? Well, let's see how we get, let's see where we go tonight. Okay, Richard?
That would be good. Let's make it as efficient as possible.
Let's not get the cart ahead of the horse all the way. It says on the plans that they're not approved for construction. Is that going to cause a problem?
I don't think so. I mean,
If you don't
the
mind scrolling down
contractor will
again,
be
Richard.
doing the construction as
Right
long as
above the
the,
legend and general notices, it actually says not approved for construction.
That's right, because they're permitting and it's in
Okay.
permitting. So in case somebody was to grab it, it's not for use for construction. The other
Okay.
thing is that National Grid, what they'll do is they'll pull this information onto an H drawing because that's their standard drawing, and they'll use the H drawing to go to construction with it. And then the contractor will have this as their reference set if they need to refer back, but they take our information and put it on an H drawing.
Okay, so the set we see will say not approved for construction on them.
Yeah,
Great, thank you.
unless that's a problem. If it's a problem, we can certainly.
I'm not going to push it either way. It seems to be a way that you all work together. I just want to, I don't want you to go through the process of sending us over a set. We all go down and say we can't do it because, and this is sometimes it's the details we have to look at sometimes.
Absolutely.
Any other questions for any other members of the board?
I got a couple of questions.
Go ahead, Ken.
I don't want to, up everybody, but, okay, so, Richard, can you go back to the first site plan drawing, I guess, where it shows the duck bank? That one, and just blow it up the area. My question here is, for clarification, it appears that you're going to be doing work within Westford's roads right away, if you blow that section up. So is that a proposed pole there, or is that a manhole? What is it that in the circle?
So this is the approximate location of a proposed three-way manhole.
Okay.
And they're going to stub it they're going to stub it out to the northeast. And then they're also going to run a duct bank to the southwest to an existing pole, which is not shown on this plan.
Okay,
This is approximate. So if it makes sense to pull it up back out of the right of way and run the duct on National Grid property till we get to the pole,
yes.
I'm sure that won't be an
That's
issue.
what I was gonna ask Mark if that, because what I didn't want to do is be in a position where we would approve a site plan and then you'd have to go to another step, like to the, get a curb cut permit or whatever, to work in the right of way or some other state approval or whatever you want to call it. So my recommendation would be to do what you just suggested, pull the work off as much as possible off the right of way and onto your property.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then just for clarification for the board, could you give us a little bit more detail of the depth and size of that duct bank and what the number of conduit and so forth to go in it? Because that's a pretty extensive piece of trenching.
Yeah, it is. So this is a 6x5. I unfortunately do not have the electrical details on the duct bank, but I'm going to guess that a 6x5 is going to be at a depth, be buried at a depth of 36 inches. 3 feet, I think, would be the absolute minimum. And it's going to be like 36 by 36, and it's
Okay.
going to be bedded in stone. So you're talking about a depth of excavation of about 7 feet. This, I believe that the bank up here, no, they didn't give that. See, it's one of those things where some of the information that's provided to me, I just take when I'm given. Again, we got this critical electrical infrastructure issue. So
I'm just trying to demonstrate to everyone and looking for you to clarify that those lines on the print represent a pretty substantial amount of work is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
yes, they do.
Okay,
I'll be honest with you, I made the assumption, and I may be incorrect in making this assumption, but if they're going to dig the trench, they're going to dig it now and use it for a period of time going into the future, Ken. They may not, I'm assuming, and Richard, you won't know, but I'm assuming they're not going to dig a trench, put in a the ductwork for it, and then jam the ductwork full, and in 5 years want to put in more ductwork.
it's gonna,
I
So
would
I'm
assume
guessing-
not.
I'm
Right.
guessing that they've got 10, 15, 20 years in this, and they probably don't even know what they're going to put into it, but they're putting some space in. So
There's typically a spare or two. However, this has a very specific use. You're not going to run something else through this duct bank. This is right. This is connecting this pole to this switch yard and then taking it out to distribution into the street. And the thing about the substation is that as you step from the back to the front, you're stepping down in voltage. And if you were to go up there, you'd notice that the back equipment is taller and then it gets closer to the ground, minimum approach distance. I believe the yard up front is going to be a 23 kV yard. So this is going to be a 23. You have a feed in and then you have a 23 kV out to the street.
That's like 2.5 times my house.
Must be bright over at your place.
No, I have a backup generator. I'm sorry, but yeah. Okay, thank
so
you.
only one more
Other questions? Go ahead, Ken.
Two things actually, but I know, so you said there was only 2 lighting fixtures or light poles in the job. And it highlighted one area to be lit. Is that all you really need is 2, Joshua or Richard?
I guess I'll answer that. This was the information provided to me by the electrical engineering design consultant, and they're proposing these 2 locations.
Okay,
I think there's enough light here to light up this area, is my sense, at a height of 25 feet. But it's task lighting. It's not lighting up at the sky. It's lighting down on the equipment. The other thing worth noting is that the grayed out areas are future equipment too. And we've accounted for that in the drainage.
And I'm going to make the same assumption I've made before when I've seen these. When and if there's an opportunity, when and if there's a need to do work there, they bring in larger task lighting for the time they need it.
Yep.
For maintenance and stuff, they don't need a lot of light. They can get it done during the day. except in certain months of the year. But if they're in a situation where they needed to bring in lighting, bring in a trailer.
Got it.
Light up what they need while they're there.
Right, they're
Or
right.
all of their trucks actually carry now lights on them, so.
Yeah, they're not doing O&M at 3 o'clock in the morning.
No,
Right?
they're
They're there
solving
because
a problem.
something bad's happened, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, the last thing, Mr. Chair, was there was a kind of an addendum or another separate set of sketches that highlighted some landscape efforts. Could they
Yes.
go over that for us?
Yes, thanks, Mr. Diskin. I was going to mention that once we got through some of the stormwater management related questions. So through the chair, Mark, could you put up the slide deck again?
Yes.
I think it's the last 4 slides.
Yep. I'll go
And
down to
so-
that and then I'll do the, oh, here we go. Whoops, I went too far. I think it's,
Yeah, we can start with that one. Great.
Yep.
So
oh,
this,
whoops, I meant, it made me go
Just click,
backwards.
there you
Okay,
go.
here we are.
yeah.
Mhm.
Here we are.
So as Richard had mentioned, there's the tower that's actually not shown on the engineered drawings.
Mhm.
To the left of that, along the street edge, are various arborvitae plantings. So these are non-deciduous plantings, and the location of those will be, as you can tell, will be approximately in front of where the proposed expansion switching station is to be located. So. Mark, if you could advance to the next slide, please. Here's a street view into the existing substation yard. And as you can see, the sort of the more green open area is right next to the improved substation equipment is where the proposed switching station is going to be located. So this is somewhat of a gap area along the street where you can pretty easily see into the yard, into the substation property. This is approximately where those arborvitaes are going to be planted, in and along this area. And it's a little wider swath of land that's depicted here. But the purpose of this photograph is to give you a sense of the view from the street into the yard, but also to give you some sense of the existence of existing plantings that already does exist along the street. There's a pretty robust vegetative buffer that exists today that runs along Westford Road. And it's really a mix of scrub and some shade trees, some non-deciduous plantings. And so we wanted to, as some initial pre-filing feedback, we wanted to provide some enhancement to the landscaping, both in terms of providing a little more beautification with respect to new plantings, but also to serve as some limited screening for the proposed switch station. Mark, could you advance to the next slide, please? This is another aerial that shows the entry point. This is the existing access to the substation that exists today. And on both sides of that entry point are some proposed new plantings. The red area shows some clearing that the company would like to do. This is part of their veg management, but we felt that we would want to bring this to the board's attention at this meeting so that you understood what the company is planning to do at this entry point. As you can see in the next slide, but before we move to that, there's quite a bit of sort of undesirable scrub invasives that are on both sides of the entry point. It's very difficult, in addition, to manage and constantly cut back that vegetation in this area. So the vegetation management and ops group wants to clear it, and in place of it, in lieu of it, plant these proposed arborvitaes. Mark, could you advance to the next slide? And this is the depiction of if you're looking into the yard, into the property, this is the right side of that entry point. And the opposite side looks very similar to this as well. Not so desirable. So essentially the company is looking to clear this area out and replace it with more clean arborvitae plantings.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, this picture came through in the last, in one of the emails from you all, and I actually recognized it for what it was. And as a resident, I appreciate that you want to make the entrance look better.
Yeah, not technically not really part of the project area, but the company felt that it was a maintenance opportunity. And while we are planting other plantings elsewhere on the site, they figured why not do it here at the entry point as well.
Okay. Questions from the board members? I'm sorry, are you, Josh, are you done for now?
Yeah, that completes our formal slide deck, and I
Okay.
think Rich is done with his portion of the presentation too, so.
Appreciate it. Any questions from the board members? I want to say thank you. You guys have been very responsive to everything we've asked you for in this project. I know you've been very responsive to the other boards you've been in front of here in town about it. And I'm going to take the words out of Mr. Diskin's mouth. It's a first-class, it's an actual first-class set of drawings and stuff. Until we found the RI dot stuff, we're we're good to go. Anyway, any further questions from any members of the board? Before we, there was a request, if I recall, and Mark, you can catch me on this. There were some waivers that were requested or some conditions that we need to put together.
Yes, I am going to, I'm trying to find my staff report. So I can
One
share
was a
it,
request of a photometric plan. And I'll say that I don't think a photometric plan is necessary for this site. That's my personal view. 2 light poles that have downlighting. It would be nice if we could get, you say it's dark sky compliant. It would be nice if we could get a cut sheet if possible, included in the plans, so we know that we're looking at what you intend to do.
On the last page, maybe.
Yep.
I'm sorry, Ken?
I think it might have been on the last page.
Yeah. And I also know, I think, are we still waiting for feedback from the DPW about some of the stormwater work?
Mr. Chair, that is correct. I spoke with the DPW director last week, and unfortunately, he did not have a chance to do a thorough review, but he assured me that he will once he returns next week. And, I think given the relatively simple nature of the stormwater system, that won't be an issue, but I did put that as a condition of approval. And while I have the floor here, I just wanted to bring the board's attention to the 3 bullet points here for the waivers. The first is for a waiver from a detailed landscaping plan. Second is for off-street parking. It's not warranted given that there are no permanent buildings or employees on the site. And the last is for a lighting plan, namely the photometric lighting plan. And I refer to the sections of the bylaw that would be applicable to the waiver request. So these 3 items, the board should make a motion to waive these prior to going on to further action. Excuse me.
Are we ready for that?
I see nods all around, or at least one. Yep.
Can you recap those, Mark?
Yes, the 3 waivers are, excuse me, a detailed landscaping plan, a waiver from off-street parking requirements, and a waiver from a photometric lighting plan.
Okay.
And
I
would
did
just
have one.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Nathan.
Just one question is there, I didn't notice an extent of work, a scope of work that would identify how much of the property is going to be disturbed, and then how that's going to be restored. I assume that would be in a landscaping plan. And then, and particularly, I'm asking this because of the amount of material that is being removed from the site. It sounds like there's going to be a fair amount of truck traffic in and out when you're doing that excavation, since it's all being removed. So just want to make sure that it sounds like there could be a lot of disturbed area, and make sure that gets restored to its current state. Is that addressed in this package set, or is that going to be a future set?
I think Richard just put his hand up. Richard, you're on mute.
Thank you. Let's see. Yeah, if you were to go to page 5 of the plan set that showed the major components of the overall disturbance, there is a limit of disturbance line around, let's say the work in the duct on the duct bank within the yard. And then there's a little bit of disturbance line for the substation expansion. And then the veg maintenance and the items in the right of way there aren't, because they are limited to the actual activity. But if it pleases the board, I can add some notes so that it's clearer.
I think it's important to add those notes per Nathan's request.
Okay, absolutely.
And if I may, I don't recall offhand, but the road is all gravel on this property. There is no asphalt drive off at the end of the road. Is the entrance, the access roads on the property are all non-asphalt surface, correct?
No, that is not correct. There's actually a fairly extensive paved road within the existing facility. However, there's no paved access over to this part of the yard, and the expansion does not have any paved access either.
As a truck leaves the expansion, will it be driving across paved surface before it gets to Westford Road? Can you give me a guesstimate what the distance is for the answer? The question I'm asking, Richard, is how much mud's going to come off the wheels of the truck before it leaves the site?
None. Couple hundred feet of there's a couple hundred feet of bituminous, and there's 300 feet, give or take, of crushed stone surface that it's going to drive over.
Okay.
So that was going to be my question too. So when the trucks drive in there, they're going to actually drive within the fence of the existing substation. Is that correct? Across the stone? Or are they going to be driving out on the?
No, that's a good guess.
Around the perimeter?
It's a really good question.
They can't drive in that substation, I don't think.
No, there's a good, even though there is ample room up front, my sense is that given the critical nature of this facility, that they will likely drive on, if we were to go back to the aerial, you'll see that there's a gravel road that finds its way around that side of the substation. And you're right, that's probably how they'll construct it. So we should add a construction entrance to our plan.
Thank you.
Right, that 1,400 cubic feet or so that's going to be removed. I assume that's going to be removed prior to the fence being extended, and so the trucks will be outside the fence.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's the area that would be greatly disturbed, and I'd want to see restored.
Got it.
Okay.
And it's very important that we restore the area on the property, but I also have a feeling that road gets a bumper crop of traffic multiple times a day. And I'd like to, hundreds of feet of dust and drive off mud would be noticed.
Yeah, National Grid has strict environmental standards for construction, but the plan set, I guess, doesn't quite address that to the extent that it could. So we should tidy that up for you.
I appreciate it. Thank you. We've actually had a really good response from your neighbor across the street over there. He's actually running large borrow piles. You can't tell on the road.
So, Mr. Chair, where are we now? Are we looking for a motion? What are we doing?
We have not, excuse me, but I recommend that the planning board first act on the waiver request, which is the landscaping plan, off-street parking lighting plan. Then in turn, take up site plan approval, and then secondly, follow that with stormwater.
Thank you, Mark. Jonathan, you all set?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion that we grant the waivers requested by the applicant to waive the detailed landscaping plan, the off-street parking requirement, and the photometric lighting plan for 65 Westford Road, New England Power.
Thank you. Do you have a second?
I'll second, just to amend I'd like to amend it partially, if you don't mind, Jonathan, to include the language of the town planner's comments dated March 22nd, 2022.
I accept that amendment.
Thank you. Moved and second. Any discussion? Jonathan,
Aye.
how do you vote? Thank you. Nathan?
Aye.
Ken?
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Okay, then for the site plan, the only condition I had to do with satisfactory review of the proposed stormwater management system. But based on the discussion that we just had, should we add a second condition regarding the construction entrance and restoration of disturbed areas?
As
Yes.
discussed, yes.
Okay. So details of the construction entrance.
Would it be wise just to postpone to the next meeting and see that?
It's up to the board. Certainly, we have time to do that. I'm not sure what sort of timeline the applicant was hoping to receive final approvals, but
I can folks hear me? I'm not muted, am I?
Oh, please go ahead, Josh. Thanks.
Yeah, we certainly were hoping to get an approval this evening to the extent that the board's comfortable. Seems to me that I appreciate the discussion that the members had, mostly relating to construction management and operations related activities, which I think are pretty standard. We're comfortable with those, either in a textual format by virtue of a condition of approval, and or the supplementation of reflected in the plan set that Richard Lewis has agreed to update. I would hope that perhaps, I mean, there are a few other minor changes that Richard is going to make as a part of the overall discussion that we've been having this evening. My hope would be that that could be administratively reviewed by Mark and his team. I think Mark fully understands the purpose and intent of the discussion that's been had. I don't think there's anything really complex in terms of some of these updates. We'd really like to, if the board is amenable and supportive of approving this in general, we'd really appreciate having that vote this evening and not be continued.
I'm
Thank you,
amenable
Josh.
to that.
Yep. I'm going to ask, in your conversations with the Conservation Commission, you covered many of these items also. Josh? Oh, Richard, I'm sorry. I know I may have come to some of the meetings, but I didn't pay that close attention all the time.
Well, and I did not run point on that.
Okay.
And other than being a part of the initial, I wasn't a part of the entire process from that point forward because they want to be there for the stormwater part of it. And that's.
Thanks. Then I'm going to make a request. The conditions that Mark is typed up, would you include those please on the plan set?
Excuse me, was that addressed to me?
I'm asking you the general question. Should we include those on the plan set, the special conditions?
Yeah, I'm happy with the explanation given by Joshua.
Mhm.
And I think the only thing I might change is the plan that what Mark has written out, the details there. Restoration for disturbed areas shall be included in the final plan set, not just submitted to the planning board, but submitted and endorsed by the planning board.
Okay.
So we don't, it's not just submitted to us. We have to endorse it and approve it accordingly.
Submitted to and endorsed by.
Exactly. That's what you want to say. And
Okay.
endorsed by.
By the planning board. Yep.
Nathan, does this serve?
Almost, and then I would just like to see construction entrance, something about the construction disturbance. Because I believe there's gonna be a lot of disturbance outside the fence.
Well, we could
okay, so the
say
disturbed areas,
I
for
have
all
a,
disturbed areas.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
okay,
uh,
yeah,
if I may.
I agree.
I was going to details of the construction entrance and construction restoration plans. But well, for all
Yeah.
disturbed areas, there you go. That works.
Yep,
That works.
thank you, Mark.
I changed it.
Okay.
I'd add where you got the, it may not be a restoration plan. It could just be notes. So I just put a slash after plan, restoration slash notes,
Oh.
plan slash notes. So
Oh, okay,
if
I
we're
see.
given if Richard gives us a narrative, that it would
Right.
not necessarily have to be a plan.
Right. There could be notes on the plan, yes, about restoration. Yep,
Okay.
that's a good point.
I think we're zeroing in on it, guys.
yeah,
You guys good?
if I
Joshua
could,
and Richard, you go with that?
yeah, if
Go ahead,
it
Richard,
pleases
yeah.
if it pleases the board, we have the erosion and sedimentation control plan. That's where I normally show the construction
Okay.
controls, and given the fact that
Oh.
we are going to have to access this area from the outside, we need to give that some thought. So I'm going to show you how we're going to do that on that plan, so that we depict the area that vehicles are going to drive over, and then we label how it's going to be restored. So it's all in one place. And I'll do that
Appreciate
for the interior as well for the duck bank run. I'll say this is going to be crushed stone, this is going to be repaved. So that way it's very clear on all the restoration.
Okay.
Fantastic. Nathan, does that help?
Certainly.
Great. Thank you. Jonathan, I think we're at a point.
Yes, so what's the appropriate language? Do I make a motion for that we find or endorse? What's the
Yeah.
right verb?
Well, first, the motion could include the findings, which basically they meet site plan criteria, which are very general. So the motion could include the planning board finds. So there would be a motion on the finding, followed by approval with the special conditions.
Okay.
And then after that, we'll move on to the stormwater permit with its own set of standard conditions.
I'd like to make a motion that the board find that the proposed site plan for NEPCO at 65 Westford Road meets the criteria for granting site plan approval, with the following special conditions as articulated at this meeting. For one, satisfactory review of the proposed stormwater management plan from the Ayer DPW, or otherwise reach agreement on a stormwater management plan prior to any construction commencing on the site. And two, that details of the construction entrance and restoration plan notes for all disturbed areas shall be included in the final plan set submitted to and endorsed by the Ayer Planning Board.
Well done with only one breath. I'll second that one.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. Jonathan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
Ken?
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Okay, then, Mr. Chair, for the major stormwater permit, these are fairly standard unless it's a very complex project. Just basically as read, it's all contingent on satisfactory review by the Ayer DPW.
I'm perfectly
So
good
what
with
they
that.
usually get us is an operation and management plan and also a schedule of inspections.
Mhm. And this will all happen prior to any issuance of building permits and stuff like that. So a shovel won't go in the ground until we have it in our possession.
Correct.
Okay.
All right, I'd like to make a motion then that the board approve the application for a permit for the stormwater management, 65 Westward Road, New England Power.
I'll second it. Any discussion? Jonathan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
Ken?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Everyone take a deep breath. Are we all done, Mark?
Yes, with this one.
Let's close it up, guys. Mark, Jonathan, I don't want to give you the bums rush, Josh and Richard, but we still have more on our agenda tonight.
Yes.
We've had some very patient people, so I appreciate all that you've done, and I appreciate you working with us.
I appreciate
So,
it.
Jonathan, do you mind closing the public hearings?
I'd
on the
like to make a
stormwater?
motion that we close the public hearing for site plan review for 65 Westford Road, New England Power.
Second.
Second by Nathan, thank you. Jonathan, how do you vote?
Wait a minute, any discussion?
I'm sorry, any discussion? Yes,
I'd like to make a final comment and
please do.
thank Joshua and Richard for the quality of the drawings. Jeff alluded to it earlier, but it wasn't just the drawings, it's the actual application. Working with, all the departments in the town, coming forward with the information very clearly and distinctly. So it was, I would like to see that kind of application for everybody, very professional. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ken.
Thank you very much.
I don't want to steal Mr. Diskin's thunder in any way, shape, or form, but I have been stopped by people asking about this. For a lot, I mean, not just the Westford Road, but the work going on across the town, and people are aware of it. So it's been very easy to say to them they're doing a really, really good job, and you'd be able to explain it to them so when they drive by, they please come ask whatever questions you want. And people have been saying, great, thank you for explaining it. I mean, it works out really well when our population understands what's going on. So thank you. Our residents know. Okay, back to the vote. Jonathan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
Ken?
Aye.
And chair votes aye.
Like to make a motion
Yep, go ahead.
to close the public hearing for the stormwater management permit, 65 Westwood Road, New England Power.
Thank you.
Second.
Yes, thank you for the second. Thank you for the second, Nathan. Any discussion on this? Hearing none. Jonathan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
Ken?
Aye.
And chair votes aye. I'm going to miss you guys.
We'll
when
be
you get
back when this gets endorsed.
I'm sure. I was going to say, when you get copies to us, we'll work on getting it endorsed back to you, Richard. And Josh, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you for
everyone.
working with us.
Appreciate your
Thank you,
time.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, and to Mark and the staff. It's been wonderful working with all of you.
It's
Really
good to hear.
appreciate it.
It's great to
Thanks
hear.
a
Thank
lot.
you very much, Josh.
Thank you. Good
Take
night.
care.
Good night. We are getting late in the evening, though we don't have a drop dead time. I want to take a look at the agenda. We have the town planner update, announcements, meeting minutes, and under administrative, we're going to take care of food trucks and related business, briefing on MBTA Communities Act, old new business, and adjourn. I am curious if anybody is here to talk about the food trucks, because I would like to take that next, if it's okay with people. If you are here to discuss food trucks, would you please raise your hand or, okay. So why don't we keep with the agenda at this point? Town planner update?
Actually, Chair,
Yes.
given the hour, is there anything here that we can defer to the next meeting?
Mr. Chair, to Jonathan's question.
Yes, please do.
Yeah, I was going to spend a substantial amount of time talking about the MBTA Communities Act, but that is something that I could do with the next planning board meeting. There is sufficient time. And I'll be preparing a short PowerPoint presentation for the select board, which I'll be presenting to them the following week. So actually, I think the April 12th meeting would be better in terms of both time and preparation for me to give that presentation.
Okay,
about
great,
the
thanks.
MBTA community. So that would drop off, and then Flanagan Pond letter of support and food trucks would be the remaining items.
So did you all see a copy of the Flanagan Pond letter?
Yes.
Requests has come from conservation, correct? They
CPC.
would
CPC.
conservate.
Community Preservation Committee.
Community preservation.
Okay. What's confusing me is conservation wants to do a assessment of public kayak and canoe access on Flanagan's Pond, and they have gone to CPC for money. So a letter of support has been requested. You're correct, Ken. I just wanted to touch all those bases, but okay. And I'm perfectly happy with the letter, Mark. So how soon do we have to have that letter into them?
I think as soon as possible. I think by next week.
You want to put the letter on the screen, Mark, for the poll?
Yes, I hope I have it up. Let me see if I will have to open it, but I can do that. Up here it is. Well, first I'll have to open it and then I will have to share my screen. Okay, a few steps here. Screen
My
share.
first client meeting was at 5:45 this morning.
Up
Beginning
here
to
it goes.
become a long day.
Okay, can everybody see this?
Yep.
Okay.
You know, the only comments I have is, we're not transcendentalists here, even though we were very close to Harvard, so we can lowercase nature-based.
Oh.
And
Okay.
Great Ponds do we have something called Great Ponds in there, or is that a descriptor?
Sandy Pond is designated as a great pond.
Is that an
Flanagan's
actual
isn't.
word? Great Pond?
Oh,
Is it an actual
yes, yeah,
thing?
it's
Okay,
a
fine.
legal term for bodies
right.
of water that are, I believe, over 10 acres.
Okay, so that remains capitalized? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My understanding is Sandy Pond is classified a great pond in Massachusetts. I don't know if Flanagan's is or isn't, but I don't
Yeah,
think
I'm
it
not
hurts
sure.
either way.
Hmm.
I'd like to move that this letter gets approved this evening, and for this letter of support for the Flanagan Pond Access Feasibility Study gets approved by the planning board this evening.
So you already moved, you're just looking for a second?
Yep.
Second,
Any further discussion? Mr. Krantz, how do you vote?
aye.
Mr. King,
Aye.
Mr. Diskin,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. If you want me to sign it, Mark, I will, but otherwise, by all means, please transmit it
Yes, okay,
without my signature. Thank you.
sure. Okay, I'll stop the share.
Great. Meeting minutes, Mr. Krantz, thank you very much for all the work you have done in the last day or in the last, you pull yeoman's duty on our meeting minutes. I really do appreciate you doing it. We had a big package this time. We had 115 pages plus 15 pages of meeting minutes to reread. So thank you.
Would you like motions to?
Please.
approve? Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve the planning board minutes from May 12th, 2021.
Second.
Thank you for the second, Mr. Diskin. Any discussion? Mr. Krantz, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. King,
Aye.
Mr. Diskin,
Aye.
chair votes aye.
I'd like to make a motion that the board approve the meeting minutes for February 22nd, 2022.
Second.
Thank you for the second, Mr. Diskin. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Krantz, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. King,
Aye.
Mr. Diskin,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. I apologize going back to last names. It's the automatic way my brain works sometimes. So the last items on our list are food trucks and related businesses. I think of these as mobile food establishments. We currently do not have any bylaws or regulations around them. And they are allowed as other establishments underneath our bylaws. We have a person who's making an application to us. Unfortunately, we did reach out to the applicant asking them to join us this evening so we could have an open discussion. There was a request today. I don't know if we can take it up or not, but Mark has done some work on looking at what food trucks are or mobile food establishments are. I've taken some time to look around in Massachusetts, what's going on, looking for towns that are similar to ours in size and feel. I will share with the members of the board by email, not for discussion, but as a way of information, what I found here in Massachusetts. I'm going to send you the links to the PDF files from the different websites from the different towns around, okay? And I'll make that same list available through the planning office, through Mark and Heather, if anybody wants to take a look at it. I guess we'll have a conversation about that because we do have an application. It came in late Friday they came late on Friday, not in time to make it to this meeting. Mark and Heather have been doing a good job working with the applicant. I know the applicant has also been to see the enforcement officer and has also been to see the Board of Health. We're going to have to pull a lot of departments come together when it comes to food establishments. Briefing on MBTA Communities Act. Mark, thank you very much for taking care of that. Old and new business. Is there anything on anybody's mind that is crushingly important at 20 minutes to 10, at 20 minutes to 9?
No,
Not even you, Mr. Diskin?
I'm passing. I can hack it, but you guys can't, so.
Oh, I can go. I got.
Oh,
I
my
can go
goodness.
for it.
We're
But I
gonna,
can
quote-
show-
I'm gonna quote you on that one, my friend.
So
See you withering away already.
I apologize. It was a very, very long day. Okay. With that, a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Krantz. Mr. King's dying to second that one, right, Nathan?
Sure, second.
Excellent. Moved and seconded. This is an interesting discussion point. You cannot discuss a move to adjourn under Robert's rules.
Done.
Mr. Krantz, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Mr. Diskin?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Meeting adjourned.